let's go a little bit more in depth with regards to masking. So we have a few ways to generate masks here. The non-baked way and the baked masks. So let's just start with the non-baked masks. So first we have the diffuse mask, the mask, and if I run it, let me delete this debugger here, it will just get me the diffuse map of whatever material I have named before and a ramp so I can edit it with the contrast words like so. 0.2 high con, and let's see how, well, it does nothing. I think I have to make it a little bit higher here, and it works pretty much the same with specular like this, and with our metallic like this. In this case, most of metallic masks are empty, just black or white, since it has to be specifically a metallic material. So most of the time you'll be using the diffuse or the specular masking. Now let's continue with the directional masks. Here we have NY+, so let me show you what it does. And it just takes the normal of the mesh and takes the Y channel in the positive side. So that means it will give us the up and normal. And we can also say NY minus, and it just reverses that channel. And NY minus is just NY plus with an invert on, so it's the same result. Aside from NY, we also have NX plus, and we can see it gives us the positive X, and NX minus, which is just the inverse of that, as you can see. Same with NZ plus, and we run it and it gives us the Z axis, and same with the minus version of the word, it gives us the inverse of that axis. So this is very useful for creating masks where, say, only like snow, where it will only fall on top of the mesh, and we can multiply it, and we can also play with the contrast, like say 0.5 high con, and now we have a more steep mask. Now let's continue with our baked masks. So let me remove this part here. And this baked mask requires that you have a baked map for each of these. So we need a baked AO, baked cavity, and curvature, but we can generate this automatically using a workflow you can check out in the baking video. So let me show you what this look like. So the AO mask is just the baked AO and the Blender AO, like this one. This is the Blender AO, and this is just an approximation of the ambient occlusion I baked, or I derived it from the normal map. Same thing with the mask cavity. Now this is a little bit more accurate. This is the Blender cavity shader, baked as well. And next up we'll have the mask curve, which is just the curvature, which is just a high frequency detail from the normal map. Now all of these have, again, they all have a ramp, so you can just use the contrast words, like 0.45 mid con. Let's see how that looks, and looks not so bad. And the next type of mask is the final one, and is a little bit of a special mask. It's a painted mask, and it works in the following way. We have pmask B for a painted mask with a black background, and we have, let me type here, test mask white, and we have pmask W for a mask with a white background. Or we can also use test mask. This is just the name of the mask. You can make it, you can name it pretty much anything. And we have pmask 0 for an empty mask, although here it will display as black, but in reality it's an alpha blended map with the alpha set to 0. And to edit these masks, we can, let me show you with the white mask because it's the more handy one. To edit this kind of masks, we just come here in the shader editor and select the node for the geometry we want, and we can directly edit here in Blender's texture paint layout. So let me just draw it with a black color, like around here. Like so, and this will be projected, so it's not UV paint. I think for UVs you can draw it here. Yep. And when we come back, we'll have our painted mask. Now, this name here, it's in strings, just to clarify that it's a name, it's not a word. And you can name it whatever you want, and the final name of the mask will be the test mask and append the geometry. So for example, if you have various pieces of geometry and you call the pmask whatever variation you have, it will make masks for everything that you have. Now, since this is Blender, you have to save the map that you created, but to do so manually it's a little bit of a chore, especially if you have many of these. So what you can do is just run it again, and each time you run it, Blender will save the map. I also want to show you where it's located. So when we make a project with neotex, that means just making a folder. We have a map folder which is created automatically, and here you can see that it says lion low res cavity. Let me show you the cavity map and the normal map for the lion low res, but also has the test mask that I created here. So this is the black and this is the white, and this is the transparent one. You can see it's just a gray because it's transparent. So anytime you create a mask, it will go here in the map directory. If the directory doesn't exist, the neotex will create it for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And every map you bake will go here. That's pretty much it for the masking.